Are you struggling to get a personal loan from your bank or credit union because you have a high debt to income ratio? If that's your situation, then here are the lenders that may be able to help you. The first one is Upstart. Now, here's the thing about Upstart. I want you all to understand, because Upstart said that their credit scores start at 300. Okay, now their average credit score is about a 660. All right. Now, another thing about Upstart in reference to income, and I think this here is a bigger challenge for people, in reference to their annual income that they want you to have is about $12,000 annually, right? So that's about $1,000 a month, right? But what people don't understand, usually that $1,000 a month income is usually the discretionary income you have left. Now, here's the good thing about it. Because Upstart actually offers this up to 75% utilization. Now, in order for you to qualify for the loans with 75% utilization, I would definitely say that you want to have a higher credit score in order to qualify. Now, in reference to the amount of money that they wanting to offer, up to $50,000, because their loans go anywhere from $1,000 up to $50,000. All right. Now, here's the thing about it. Like I said, on the income, when you applying for this type of loan, so that you understand as an individual, when you apply for this type of loan, do not forget to include your household income. So if you married and you have a spouse that has income that helps support the household, then that's the income you report. If you are in a household and you're sharing rent, then you should be including the amount of rent that you are actually sharing with that individual as income. If you're disabled, right, and you're renting out a room, you need to include that income, right? Now, here's the thing about it. When most people mess up is that they're looking at Upstart. They're usually doing a soft pull, all right? Now, like it says here, it won't affect your credit score when you do a soft credit check. However, if you decide to accept a loan from them, then they usually do a TransUnion and Equifax. More than likely, they'll just do the Equifax. But do not be surprised if you accept a loan and you see an inquiry on both the TransUnion as well as the Equifax. Okay, so that's very important. Now, here's some other things that you do need to understand. You have to have an active email. You have to have an active bank account with deposits. Not just a bank account, but you have to have an active bank account with deposits so they can verify that you actually do have income. Okay? If they're not able to verify that you have income, they are going to deny you. All right? So you need to keep that in mind. All right? Now, another thing, if you have a bankruptcy or you just coming out of a bankruptcy, they want you to have a bankruptcy older than 12 months, okay? So in order to even work with them, you have to have a bankruptcy older than 12 months. This is some of the things that a lot of people are not sharing in their videos about this that you all need to know. Now, another thing is that you cannot have no recent or current delinquencies. That's another thing. So say that you have a 580, but you don't have any recent delinquencies, they will approve you, okay? Even with a 580 credit score. However, for most people, they may have current charge-offs of collections. Now, here's a thing that you all need to understand. If you have current charge-offs and collections, are those charge-offs or collections showing a zero balance? Okay, that's another thing. And here's a little tip for you guys that have collections and charge-offs. Here's a little tip for you that's going to help you. Okay, if you do not have the means to pay that charge-off collections, you need to request a 1099-C, a cancellation of debt. You would reach out to the creditor's collection department. and you would explain your situation and let them know that you cannot afford to pay this debt. And when you request out the charge off of collections, okay, they must give you a 1099-C. If they don't issue you that 1099-C, you follow up with them and say, hey, I haven't received a 1099-C since you charged it off as collection. Now, that being said, before we get back to this here loan, that being said, what you're gonna have to do, all right, if you receive that 1099-C, you have to actually include that as income. So if they send you a 1099-C, when you file your following year taxes, you have to include that as income. So if it's a $10,000 credit card that they charged off, that's $10,000 to you. And so that may increase your adjusted gross income. Now, there is another way for you to actually write off that cancellation of debt to where you don't have to pay taxes on that $10,000 as well, okay? But that's in terms of how you actually get rid of that charge off of collections. That being said, that's one way I would say. That being said, going back to this about these current delinquencies, again, if you have current delinquencies, they will deny you. Another thing they'll deny you for, say that you have 6 inquiries. This is one thing that I continue to tell people. Your inquiries can really hurt you, all right? So if you have 6 inquiries within the past 6 months, keep in mind, they're going to hold that against you as well. Okay, so that's 6 inquiries within the past 6 months, that can get you denied also, okay? Do they request proof of income? Absolutely. So they're gonna wanna see pay stubs. So once they look at the bank account, and say that you're self-employed, okay? Here's the thing about it. If you're self-employed, I always tell people you're leaving money on the table because you need to structure yourself as a business, not only to protect yourself, but to be able to get more funding without actually using your personal credit, okay? Once the company is established and revenue's coming in. Now, I tell people, we're going into the end of the year. If you are not structured as a business at this point, come January 1st, you're going to miss your opportunity of aging that company for 1 year. Because if you set the company up now, then by January 1st, that company will actually be 1 year old when you file the business taxes on it, okay? I'm going to get back to the Upstart loan, but I just want you guys to understand this, right? So if you have any questions about setting up your company, trying to get access to personal business funding, click the link in the description. Going back to this Upstart situation, many people are being denied, okay? And again, it's because of what I was just explaining to you. It may be too many recent inquiries, all right? Like I said, you can have a 580 credit score, but if you don't have recent inquiries, they look at that, okay? Making sure that your DTI, you have enough disposable income to pay back the loan, all right? So those are some of the things. And so let's look at some of these Q&As so you yourself can see what it is. Can I get a loan with bad credit or no credit? It's possible, okay? So they're saying it's possible. So even if you don't have no credit, it's still possible because if you have income, but you don't have an established credit file, they look at that, all right? How long you been on the job? They look at that, okay? If you're just coming out of college and you in the process of getting a job and stuff like that, they take that into consideration as well. All right. Sometimes lenders and lending platforms provide personal loan for bad credit or no credit at all. If you check for a personal loan rate, will it impact the credit? It will not. So that's another thing. You can actually check to see how much you qualify for and the interest rate before you actually accept it without the hard inquiry. All right. So that's with Upstart loan. Now, if you're not able to qualify for Upstart loan, here's another lender that loans up to $50,000 as well, and this is Universal. Now with Universal, they have a little more flexibility for whatever reason, I don't know. People have a higher chance with being approved with Universal than Upstart. And so with Upstart, the minimum credit score is a 560. All right. Now, again, looking at the same data points, they offer loans from 1,000 up to 50,000 also. All right. And the DTI is between 70-75%. So you have a high DTI. Also, one other thing you have to take into consideration, guys, with some of these lenders, they're tier 4 lenders. Okay, so they're not banks, they're not regional and community, they're not TransUnion. These are tier 4 alternative lenders. Okay, and since they are tier 4 alternative lenders, they have a lot more flexibility than the bank, especially when you have a high DTI. If your DTI is over 50-55%, a lot of lenders won't touch you. Now, with PenFed, if you have a 60% debt to income ratio, they still will work with you and get you qualified for a credit card as well as a loan. Okay, but when it comes to like these tier 4 lenders and stuff, they do have more flexibility. And again, you can see here, you can check, see what you're approved for without it actually impacting the credit. Okay, now I would definitely tell you again, one of the biggest challenges for people is that when they have a roommate or something like that, and the roommate is paying a portion of the bills, that's income to you. So you should, I ain't gonna say you have to, but you should be including that income. All right. Now, if you have questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.